Welcome to Old Guys Gentlemen Flex Fountain Pens, episode number 29, I think. And today I'm going to be reviewing the Waterman 52. Just a plain old number 52. Although I think I shouldn't say plain old because, well, it is plain and it is old. It's kind of a classic. And it's a classic pen for getting really good flex. This one is in pretty good shape. The imprint is pretty good. The gold, yeah, there's a few scratches here and there, but it's in pretty good shape. This one I found a little bit, usually there's engraving here. This one is just scratched. There's the ideal emblem. And pretty good. This pen has not seen all that much wear. Not too many people have gone and polished this pen, which is pretty good. The nib, I think, is a number 2. Yeah, the nib is a number 2, and it's a full flex nib. And although you wouldn't be able to tell it so much from the tip there, it's like a triple extra fine when it writes. Wonder where that is, because I mean, just looking at it, I'd say that's only about a fine. But okay, Waterman 52. Let's back away a little bit. Come into focus. So I did some writing here to show you what it can do. With a real light hand, it does triple extra fine really easily. If you firm up on it, in fact, this is like a medium hand here. It's probably more like extra fine or double extra fine. It flexes all the way out to 3 bold plus, and it's really smooth when I write. I'll do a little bit of that later. The timing on this pen, it's a little hard to tell. It's definitely after 1905, somewhere between that and 1920 would be my guess. They made a lot of these in a lot of different styles. I didn't find very many pictures that had the gold band down here, but a lot of them are shorter than this. So more about the pen. I'm using my favorite family of inks. This is the Pelikan 4001 Violet, as I've said before. It's wet enough to flow well, but not so wet that it takes forever to dry. So it's just a really nice, happy medium. They don't have a huge selection of colors, but the colors they do have I find nice. As you can see here, it's wet enough, not overly wet. Maybe a little bit on the wetter side of what way I like, but it's pretty good. It is definitely full flex. It's not wet noodle, which is okay because full flex means it gives you a little bit more control. So this is a light hand. That's a medium hand. This is a heavy hand. And I almost never write there. I usually write between a light hand and a medium hand. The dimensions on this thing are all pretty nice, maybe with the exception of one thing. When it's posted, it's more than long enough. It's 16.7 centimeters. The capped length is 13.6. The uncapped length is, I could write with it like this. You know, I'd like to have a little bit more weight on the end, but this is fine. So it's a well-sized pen. The one thing that I'm not all that keen about is the diameter here is only about 7.5 millimeters. That's just a little bit thin for, you can see that. I guess I kind of like it where not each finger is touching each other. More like a thickness of, like at the barrel up here, which is around 11 centimeters. Let's do a little example of some writing here. The dog's not happy about something. Maybe I'm getting something delivered. me see if I can do it with a little bit lighter hand. Quick brown fox jumped. Yes, I still need to work on my Spencerian. But this is way better than it was before. Sorry about that. I guess that was out of focus. Something about the response. It feels, it's on in between medium flex and full flex. But it bounces right back. So, so if I'm doing, to me this is one leather that takes a lot of changing in line variation. So you can see here I can get pretty quickly from a broad to a thin and then broad to a thin. So it doesn't win the award for the sexiest looking pen out there, but it's a pretty fine pen, and I think if you're just starting out looking for a vintage pen that writes with a decent amount of flex, the whole 52 model series pens with the, I think that's the number 2 nibs, if it's listed as flex, you'll get a nice solid pen. By the way, I guess the other thing I failed to mention is this was made with I think it's called chastened black hard rubber. Later on in the life of this thing, they made it out of cellulose, I guess. When I got this thing, it was brown all over. And I don't think I have another brown one to show you. But I discovered from Epic Pens, and I think his name is Hoover. It might be Mark Hoover, I'm not sure. But he sells this, I think he calls them potions, that you dip into. It's a gooey, awful mess to do, and it's a gooey, awful mess to clean up. But it takes off that brown oxidation layer, and then if you treat it correctly with a little bit of mineral oil to clean it up, and then I use this stuff to kind of help it from oxidizing again. I think there may be other things that are better. I think Hoover sells some other things. It doesn't make it a super shiny pen, but for these old pens, especially the ones that have the imprints, I don't think they need to be shiny. When they get shiny, they get a little bit wet. Hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got some value out of it. And how about a little plea? When YouTube changed their rules to you couldn't monetize videos if you didn't have 1,000 subscribers. And I think I only have like 700 or something like that. Now I wasn't getting much money. I think since I started this thing, I've made like $6. But I can have dreams, right? So if you wouldn't mind subscribing, and that way you can keep up and see the reviews as I do these things. They'll all be flexy vintage pens. So thanks for watching, and goodbye till next time.